Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. And no, I haven't actually skipped ahead. No, this was the beginning of Darv and I's third game. I was playing as a Beastman, he's a Skaven, and oh, just look at this. This is horrible. So I literally paused it as soon as I started this. It was unbelievable how quickly these guys took damage. Like not even a second went by before I paused this replay. So we Vanguard deployed in front of each other. This was awful. Actually, this was what was really sad. Okay, now I actually have these two Centigors here and these Chaos Warhounds, but also on the other side I have two more Centigors and Chaos Warhounds. And originally I'd positioned them here. So it really would have been tit for tat. So you know they would have done some damage to these lot, but yeah, the gutter runners would have just been murdered to pieces if I had, you know, all of my guys right on top of them. But unfortunately, with these snare nets, I can't catch them. I'm not going to be able to catch them because there's so many snare nets. I mean, I might, but I'm going to take so much damage, and it's going to be an awful trade. So this is a terrible start. These are very valuable to me. And, I mean, look at that. They start with 45 units. He's already lost 4, and, yeah, not even a second has gone by of this replay. So, oh, I've been spotted. Sorry, text tone. Anyway, so the rest of my army, though. So I've got Ungor herds in the front with 2 units of Bestigors. I've got Morghur. Morghur is fantastic against the Skaven. He is really hardy. He's not a massive target, so you can't snipe him with artillery. And, yeah, he'll spawn Chaos Spawn. And Chaos Spawn are amazing against Skaven. Having those free units, and they're much bigger than they used to be, so they're much more powerful. Though you do get fewer charges than in Warhammer 1, they are so useful. They will really, you know, get the money's worth. The money being basically free. It's like 200 quid to bring the Stave of Ruinous Corruption, I think. So unbelievably useful. They're really good against sort of low armoured units, and they will just mob stuff. They will do so much damage. So Morghur, fantastic pick against Skaven in my opinion. Also, I've got a Brave Shaman of Beasts. I've got him on a Chariot. This is a bit dangerous. Warp Lightning Cannon could snipe him out pretty well if one is brought. But just having a Chariot that can just run through the Skaven is really useful. Also, he can knock over sort of assassins and warlock engineers, things like that. So that's really handy, just having that chariot there. But also being able to spam Flock of Doom on like big clumps of rats. It will really just, it'll hit their leadership, it'll do a load of damage. Really useful. So I'm just going to be spamming Flock of Doom and using the chariot to be a pain. I've also got 2 Ungor Raiders, so these guys would be nice just to apply some pressure onto, you know, whatever really. I don't have to worry that these guys don't have armor piercing, because not many units have got armor for the Skaven, so they'll be able to get some good value, I think. Yeah, and also I've been over these guys, so more Centigors with great weapons. The reason I brought so many Centigors with great weapons, rather than just normal Centigors, is in case he brought a couple of Doom Wheels, because you really need that armor piercing to get rid of the Doom Wheels. They're the only thing that have armor, you know, in the roster. So I need to be able to deal with that. I mean, they're not the only thing, but pretty much. They're the only really big threat that you need to be able to mob and take down. So Centigors are great weapons, they'll be really good for that. Also, these guys are immune to Vigor, which is fantastic, so they will be able to stay fresh, you know, for the whole battle. Unless they break, actually. I think they lose that if they lose their leadership. Anyway, so if we look at Darv's army, so obviously we've seen all the gutter runners with poison. These guys are insane with their snare nets and their poison. They slow me down, and you know, just so much. Unbelievable amount. These guys are fantastic. So and the fact they're right here, he couldn't have had a better deployment. So also he's got some Skaven Slave spears on the sides, which is always useful. Oh, and some Clan Rat spears. In the middle he's got a load of Plague Monks, so these guys really good anti-infantry. They're going to be really good against you know, my Ungors. Also he's got some Skaven Slave Slingers. These guys are only 200 each, and they can get some damage in. They don't have to worry too much about armor because they're against Beastmen. You know, none of us have brought very armored units, so don't really need a lot of armor piercing. Also over here, Rat Ogres, these guys are going to clean up as well. These guys are going to be very formidable. Also the Plague Priest with the Plague Furnace, that's going to be constantly damaging all my units, and you know, he's got a load of spells with him as well. So it looks like he brought most of the spells. Let's have a look. So he's got, whoop. Oh, come on now, come on, you can do this. There we go. So he's actually got 2 lots of Pestilent Breath. One of them costs money, the other one is free because he's got the Plague Furnace. So he'll be able to spam that a lot, you know, along my front line, which is quite wide. So it's good to be able to have so much of this, you know, to deal with them. Also Pestilent Birth, so he can spawn some more Plague Monks, which is again going to be very scary. And yeah, he just have so many other things like Billowing Death. You know, he's just going to be doing damage to stuff, which is pretty scary. So, you know, sort of Mortis engine effect. Also, Plague Rash, you know, ruining my Vigor, which will be good against things with, you know, perfect Vigor. I think it'll still affect them, actually. I think this applies where them running around doesn't. I think that's how it works. I want to test that out, actually, at some point. But anyway. So, and he's led by a Warlord on a Bonebreaker, which is very cool. And over here you can see he's got a Warlock Engineer. So, yeah, both very varied armies. So let's get to it and watch this horrible thing happen. Sorry. Yeah, let's go to full speed. So, yeah, here you can see I do try and charge him immediately, and then I realise I'm too slow. I mean, look at this. They're all charging straight at him, but all of these nets are just hitting so much, so I need to get out of here. I have no choice but to try and escape. So I'm going to try and bob and weave a bit, but it's tough. I'm sending my front line straight in, because I need to get these guys in as quickly as possible. But look at the amount of damage I've suffered already. Oh, those poor Centigors. So, terrible, terrible start, guys. Awful, just awful. But, you know, my front line, the Bestigors, I think will really be able to do well here, because the Plague Monks, they don't have the armor piercing. Nothing really here has the armor piercing apart from the Rat Ogres. So, you know, I think the Bestigors will hold up brilliantly. The Ungors, they will just bog down the enemy a bit. They'll get some kills. They'll trade fairly well. If I'm winning the front line, then, you know, the Skaven leadership will break before mine does. Or the other way around. It's hard to tell. So, so I'm trying to send my, I'm basically just trying to send my Centigors around this side. So I want to get in the back and just start charging into units. So over here, because basically I've had to charge in straight away, so these gutter runners don't slaughter me. It's a little bit iffy. I haven't really been able to pick targets. I haven't really been able to check what he's got in his army yet. It's very tough. I've just had to just go with it and hope it's alright. So here you see I do actually try and get the gutter runners now that they're busy shooting at the Ungor herds, which do have shields. But unfortunately he gets a load of spears on me, so again, this is a terrible engagement. These guys have had a really just awful, awful day. So, but yeah, it's fine, it's fine. So here you can see my infantry is getting pretty damaged. The Plague Monks are doing very well. I caught some gutter runners slightly in here, but yeah, it's not great. Here, there's only Ungor herd, and the Brave Shaman is getting beaten up by the Warlord. I do have Morghur in here, though. He will be able to fight in here for a long time. Over here I do manage to catch the gutter runners, and over here the Ungor herd and the Bestigor herd are obviously going to have no problem killing these Skaven slaves. In fact, this is a bit of a waste, but at least I can start, you know, moving around. I want to make his line blob up a bit more, so that way when I spawn Chaos Spawn like this, they can just clean up. So they will do a lot of damage here, at least they should do. Come on, get in there. So yeah, not ideal. So here he's still chasing me with his spears, which is very irritating. I'm trying to get my archers to shoot at what I can. But I am collapsing this side. I think it was actually around here that on Turin stream, because these are all from Turin stream, I'm pretty sure he said, oh well, I guess Janet's out then, and started reading the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. It just something didn't click with his army. The Skaven front line was able to overwhelm him too easily. So that's quite amusing. Yeah, so he doesn't like my chances. But anyway, we're going to keep fighting. I'm not ready to die yet. So here, you can see now it's just the Warlock Engineer sort of in this area. So I've got a load of good infantry. I've got another unit of Chaos Spawn just spawned over here. And I'm going to get all my cavalry out and charge into these guys. For some reason, they've moved forward quite a lot. I don't think they had line of sight. And unfortunately, Morghur is getting absolutely wrecked. He's getting his ass kicked. But if he can get out of there, he can regenerate. So over here, more Centigors are stuck fighting Spearmen. I'm attacking the Skaven Slave Spears with the Brave Shaman just a bit so I can help get my guys out, and I'm going to run back. Unfortunately, the Rat Ogres are totally fine. They've run in. It's very scary. But I am dealing with these Gutter Runners now, which is good. I've actually got some Bestigor herd fighting them at the moment. So, yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage, but I'm fighting hard here. I'm fighting very hard. So I've managed to get these guys out. They're going to come back in. These guys are going to come back in. I've got my Brave Shaman over here, and you see Morghur is over here. I charge my units in just to knock everyone off Morghur so he can get some respite. He will regenerate and he will come back. Over here I've got my my Chaos Warhounds are back, so they're going to be sent back in again after some of these you know, fleeing units, or soon to be fleeing units. I've still got pretty healthy units. Centigors are great weapons here. My Bestigor herd are doing absolutely fine on that side. And over here I think I have another unit of Bestigors, or did they get taken out? Oh my god, did I lose the other unit of Bestigors? I might have done. I might have done. But anyway, this unit very healthy. And here, now that he's blobbed up so much, yeah, I can just take advantage with Flocks of Doom. I mean, look how much damage it's doing to them. It's really affecting their leadership. And I've still got an Ungor herd in here fighting all of these Plague Monks. 4 units of Plague Monks this Ungor herd is fighting. And there's some spears there. Sure, they've got, you know, Bestigor herd backing them up on one side, but still,
So another Pestilent Breath comes in. I mean, spamming that is really going to hurt me in the long run. So that's pretty scary. But this Plague Priest really needs to get involved. If this Plague Priest was actually in this fight, it would be sapping the health of everything nearby. It would be sapping the leadership, vigor, everything. It would be doing so much more work if he got it in the fight. So you need to take advantage of that. So here, I charge in. Leadership is absolutely terrible here, so getting a load of ranged units in the back is going to be really useful. Another Flock of Doom, and that should finish off all of their infantry. And then that suddenly, you know, that's tipped it, right? Suddenly, I've got a huge blob of units. I've got so many units knocking around here, and all of his are fleeing. Some of them are shattering, which is just amazing. So that's pretty great. He's got some gutter runners coming back, but they're all pretty injured. They're all pretty, yeah, they're all pretty unhappy to be in this fight. Over here, Morghur is fighting the Warlord, and honestly, Morghur will lose this fight. So I'm going to bring in the Centigor to try and help him out, and I'm going to pull him out so he can regenerate some more. So over here, I've got some Bestigors here, as well as some Ungor, trying to deal with this Plague Priest, and I'm bringing back a load of Chaos Warhounds and more Centigors are charging in here to get some armor piercing. Unfortunately, more Pestilent Breath. It's just going to do so much damage. The amount of times he's used that spell, it is really wearing away at my lines. But look at this, so many fleeing units, it's great. So suddenly things are looking a little bit better, but I've got a lot of guys wavering, a lot of guys ready to run. But here, this could change it. So I get Morghur in here again. I know he's very damaged, but I just need to kill this Warlord. For some reason he hasn't decided to flee yet, but now he has. And I've got a lot of guys on him, and Morghur gets him. And yeah, that's pretty, you know, that's a hell of a boon for me. But he still has his Plague Priest. Luckily though, the Plague Furnace, although it's got quite a lot of armor, well, stop moving, please stop moving, crazy thing. You can see he's only got 28 melee defense, which isn't too much. He's got a load of other effects, but you know, I can really get some hits in on the charge. And the Bestigors can have a great time trying to hit him. Unfortunately, I'm getting shot at here. They shattered though. So yeah, I mean, what's left, right? So I've got, some Centigors that are about to run, and all sorts. So if we look over here though, Rat Ogres, very healthy Rat Ogres, and he's got a Warlock Engineer, which is, yeah, he's not that keen, honestly. He's not that keen just yet. So that's something. But here, I need to make sure this Plague Priest dies. I need to get rid of this Plague Furnace. If this thing comes back, then it's really going to hurt. So here, I want to delay him coming in, and he is wavering. He is scary, you know, he is scared. But somehow he's getting more confident, which is a bit annoying. Oh, because he's charging now. Oh, that's annoying. But anyway, so I decided to knock him away so he couldn't come in as quickly. Because he does have like a Mortis Engine effect as well with the Warpstone Armor, I think it's called. So here, I try and break the charge with my Chaos Warhounds, get some poison on these guys, and I've got to charge everyone in here. I've got to charge everybody in. I'm going to need to get Morghur in this fight as well, because frankly, I don't have the leadership. So Chaos Warhounds just shattered. The Ungor Herd are definitely going to break. They are definitely going to break. But I've still got the Bestigors and Morghur. Unfortunately, my Bray Shaman wasn't able to hold up against the Warlock Engineer. He's got some more Plague Monks coming in here, which is very surprising. I didn't even notice them in the fight coming in. But anyway. So yeah, Morghur now, he's finishing off these Rat Ogres. Those Rat Ogres have got very hurt. They are not good at fighting heroes, apparently. So, but Morghur looks like he's going to flee. But he's happy again, he's happy. Now I just need to deal with this Warlock Engineer. That's all I need to deal with. So I charge in, hit him. He gets poisoned by Morghur. And that will affect his morale. And it looks like he's about to break. And army losses hits. And that is a win. That is a win, guys. That is a win. So, just unbelievable. Darth played great there, but I think I spoke to him afterwards. And basically, he thought he'd won. He thought he'd won already, which is why he had his Rat Ogres just running off into the distance. You know, his Plague Priest wasn't getting involved in the front line so much. He thought he'd won. And I wasn't ready to give up. And so sometimes that's all it takes, you know, just determination. Yeah, cycle charging like you've never cycle charged before. So amazing game, Dav. That was so fun. It was just so close, honestly. I can't believe I managed to turn it around. It was, oh man, I'm excited about it now. Like it was so tense when I was playing it. I was absolutely wired. I couldn't sleep that evening. I was just so wired from these matches. They were really tense. So it was at this point actually that basically Turin on his stream said, screw it, let's make it a best of 5. And that's why it's a best of 5 now. So, you know, now that I'm back in the running. So, guys, just, I mean, look at these guys. Look at that. Hundreds of kills for these. And that's mainly due to the perfect vigor. You know, they're able to just perform really well even late in the game. And you know, thanks to these guys, I managed to take out that Plague Furnace. I managed to do a load of damage to his Warlord, and you know, the Bestigors that came in, they had a great time because they avoided fighting in the front line for the most part. It was only later, when the Skaven had taken a lot of hits, a lot of Flocks of Doom, that the Bestigors got involved and just racked up kills. You know, every hit was a kill, you know, because the sort of health pools were so low on the Skaven units. So the Bestigors managed to absolutely clean up. And, you know, considering that these guys were just fodder to throw at the enemy, they did pretty well. They got a fair few kills. You know, my Brave Shaman, again, more kills than I thought he would get, because that wasn't what he was for. He was just for Flock of Doom, you know. That's lowering a health pool, not getting kills. And same over here, you know, I was able to just clean up so many people with the Warhounds. Ungol Raiders got completely just overrun and murdered straight away, to be honest. They weren't a lot of use. But I think that's what he was throwing, you know, Rat Ogres and things at. So them running away, suddenly they're getting chased by pretty valuable units. So that did help, to be honest. So it's pretty tense. Pretty tense fight. Yeah, you see Rat Ogre, 151 kills. I'm pretty sure they ran off to just clean up all my ranged units and fleeing units. So, yeah, pretty impressive. And Plague Priest, ton of kills. And I think that's mainly just from the spells, just those constant Pestilent Breaths. Absolutely lethal. So, absolutely love this build. I'm amazed I managed to overcome it. The Gutter Runner spam is just terrifying. You just don't want to be facing that, you know. So, guys, go check out Dahv's channel. He's going to be playing all of these games as well on his. And oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. This was a very defining point in our series. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.